everyone. Today I'm going to be explaining action potential. What is action potential? Action potential is a rapid rise and subsequent fall in membrane potential across the cellular membrane of an axon of a neuron in order to transmit information. Action potentials either help exceed the message to the next neuron or inhibit the message. So what is the process? In the beginning, the axon is usually at resting potential. At resting potential, the interior of the cell membrane is more negative than the exterior. The interior contains more K+ ions and the exterior contains more Na2+ ions. This means that the interior has more potassium ions and the exterior has more sodium ions. The resting membrane potential's value is usually -70 millivolts. When a stimulus arrives, the sodium ion channels open up. The sodium ions rush into the cell, resulting in the interior to become more positive. So there's a switch in that charge. Until the threshold is reached, action potential doesn't officially begin. The interior has to become positive to a certain number in order for action potential to officially begin. This is why action potential is usually known as an all or nothing event. If the threshold isn't reached, the action potential does not begin. But once the threshold is surpassed, depolarization continues until the positive interior charge reaches a peak. Depolarization is another word for the interior of the cell becoming more and more positively charged. Once the potential reaches the positive peak, then the sodium channels close. The potassium channels open, and the potassium ions flow out of the cell, resulting in a more negative charge. This is known as repolarization. As repolarization continues, the membrane potential reaches a drastic low. This is called hyperpolarization. From there, the resting membrane potential is restored with the help of the sodium-potassium pump. The purpose of hyperpolarization is in order to make sure that the information travels only one way down a neuron, from the dendrites, cell body, axon, and onto the axon terminal and to the next neuron. Hyperpolarization makes sure that information doesn't travel back and forth across the neuron's length. The sodium-potassium pump is a critical aspect of action potential because it restores the resting membrane potential. The sodium-potassium pump works by pumping 3 sodium ions outside of the cell and 2 potassium ions into the cell. This makes sure that the interior of the cell becomes negative again and the outside becomes more positive.